Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's video on YouTube on a glorious autumnal sunny day, obviously, because we've just gone past our summer. We've actually got some bad news right here. There's actually a couple of plants here. We've got zinnias, and we've also got a whole bunch of tomato plants starting to bend and sway, and in fact, these two here have not been doing exceptionally well, but despite that, we've actually got a bit of a tomato fruit that's actually starting to create. Look at that, there's actually a few of them, which is actually looking good so far. I need something to stand up with this tomato plant. It's not that great, isn't it? But apart from that, I've also got more tomato plants, which are dangling like so. And there's also quite a few more as well. We've got wood pigeons cooing in the background here. This one here looks alright. We've got another tomato plant, which is actually doing exceptionally nice. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to end up, as summer is straightforward ending up into a very close end. In fact, it's already ended somehow. I can see the very, very big looking, majestic looking sunflower here. It's actually quite a small one, to be honest. It was a medium-sized one. And I think this one is a fair bit bigger than the one I planted, let's just say last year. There's a nettle right amongst a very big swathe of nasturtiums here. And then we've also got some zinnias, which are actually looking fairly good, considering the number of zinnias I've grown has actually grown exponentially. So much so that, unlike the nasturtiums, the zinnias have been growing so steadily. And while so steady, them flower heads are going to straightforward take a bit of a while to basically regenerate some more. We've actually got 2 more flower heads, looking good so far. They are drought tolerant, like nasturtiums, obviously. I think most, if not all, of the plants that I've grown so far, they are drought tolerant. Obviously, somehow, which is nice to know. Oops, I've just turned the brightness. That was my bad, obviously. Sorry about that. At least I didn't get any dislikes, eh? And it looks like I've got a couple of birds. I can see a few pigeons. And there was a few songbirds. House sparrows, blue tits, great tits. They're all coming in to join in and feed amongst whatever you can see on the background, hey? Well, I don't think there is, actually. Right. So, we've got the fiery-coloured nasturtiums, which is a nice sight to see. And we've also got some red-looking coloured nasturtiums, ranging from a beautiful scarlet to a natural red colour. And then we've also got some peachy, orangey-looking flowers. Although I do feel like some of these flowers would have been heavily derived from, well, let's just say, a different phenotype, which has actually started to lose a lot more red and gain a lot more yellow or pink or salmon coloured. I'm not sure how you're going to differentiate it somehow. Orange, probably, but it seems like we've got a lot of bees. We've got a healthy load of bumblebees. Most commonly, I think these are Carder bumblebees. Like this one right here is pollinating somehow. Somehow it is pollinating right next towards various nasturtium plants, which is just nice to know. And actually, the nasturtium plants have been growing exponentially large. So much so that I'm starting to see a very huge colony of them, a huge congregation of these plants. And as I trek across, obviously, we got more zinnias, and then we've also got more of these as well. We've actually got a few more big nasturtiums, obviously, and zinnias as well, which is nice to know. I can see cosmos. The nasturtiums have been growing relatively well. I might have to get rid of that dandelion here as well, because that thing is nasty. It's got those spiky leaves, which I should straightforward avoid. And I'm going to go ahead and trek towards, let's just say, the other side. There's a fair bit of cosmos activity here. I can actually just see there's a lot of cosmos. That one there is straightforward drooping out. It's no longer flowering, but what I can also start to see is what looks like to be a seed head. I think that could be a seed head of a cosmos flower. And I can start to see that one there is straightforward losing its beautiful flower petals. As you can see, it is starting to straightforward shed some of it off. So often there's a lot of that going around here. I got some zinnias. More zinnias around right there as well too. And actually, because it's been so wet, yeah, you can definitely tell how damp and wet the ground has been. Somehow, it must have been derived from some relatively wet weather that happened over the course of, let's just say, yesterday, I think it was. We've got more cosmos right here. And then we've also got 2 to 3, possibly 4 zinnia flowers, hey? I'm actually straightforward very pleased with what I've grown so far. And it seems like that the number of zinnia flowers I'm starting to see here has actually been quite large. So it's actually quite a nice setting to really see of what's going on here. And then we've also got a hoverfly that's buzzing around over across through some beautiful looking zinnia flowers. That one there might straightforward lose all of its petal action. Okay, as I'm just trekking across, there's the bird food I just implemented here. And it's funny that the bird food has actually been touched so much more, I think, by birds versus squirrels, because as you can see, right that there's a collective feeding tub. Well, let's just say it's a lot of feeding tubs that might be perfect for squirrels to basically bust around the place. And then we've also got some wild cabbages at the very distance, and if I turn the brightness, they've actually got a bit of flower action like that. Maybe I need to come a little bit closer. Right through the blackberry shrub that hasn't been trimmed very nicely. Okay, so here it is. Oh, it's actually starting to droop its petals. That's not what I'd actually expect to be. Right, I'm just going to go down just a little bit. Okay, I can do see a bit of shrubbery as well. Nice to see. Cosmoses. And in funny ways, we're starting to see more zinnias. We've got orange and yellow ones. Obviously, yellowish, orangey looking flowers. And of course, wow, I didn't even realize that. That zinnia flower is actually showing signs of discolorization. I think what I can see here. I don't know what's going on with that flower here. I'm just starting to see that flower is looking a little bit infected. Not the best description to really describe that flower, because I notice these weird yellow blotches are also happening to other flowers of the same kind. And I tell you what, my neighborhood is basically surrounded and inundated by a large chunk of various different types of nasturtiums. In fact, the more I look at it, in fact, they're just pretty much, I think apart from the flowers, the entire plant looks the exact same. Look, I can see more seeds, highly looking like, hey, I need to harvest all of them seeds before winter. And it's crazy, because obviously, hey, who knows? I mean, storing and collecting all these seeds, it seemingly is painful and tiring, I have to say, hey, because they're just everywhere. They're all just growing, rampantly for some very inexplicable reason. Why they are straightforward still here. Therefore, there's just so many of them here. It's crazy. Look at them. They're just everywhere. Like, everywhere I just see is nasturtium territory. They're just everywhere, man. Like, mate, I just don't believe this. Like, everywhere I just grow here, there's just a giant clump of nasturtiums here. They are seemingly invasive in my backyard garden. That's weird, isn't it? But yes, I could tell what I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it throughout this part of the video, because I could tell you what. Look, there's more big clumps of nasturtium seeds. Might as well just leave it for the time being, because, hey, I might as well collect those in another video's time. Because, hey, I tell you what, I'm seeing so many of these going around across my backyard garden. And there's my new shovel and rake. Oh, I don't know when I'm going to start doing some more gardening. No, I'm sure about that. Anyways, I'm going to leave this video here. If you really enjoyed it, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more Flipart videos in the future. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.